Everyone says the problem is motivation or discipline, mindset, maybe some deficiency in your character that you need to fix. They're wrong. The problem is friction, and almost nobody talks about it. I've spent 20 years in technology and professional services, building products, leading teams, shipping things under real constraints. And throughout all of that, I watched the same pattern repeat itself with creative work. Hundreds of times, maybe thousands. Smart people, capable people, people who execute at high levels professionally. They know what they want to create. They have the skills to do it, but they can't seem to start. Or they start and stall. They finish one thing and then can't do it again. They always blame themselves. I'm lazy, I lack discipline, I'm just not consistent. But when I look closer, when I actually examine what's happening, it's never a character flaw, it's friction. And let me explain what I mean by that. Friction is anything that creates resistance between you and the work. It's the invisible barrier that makes starting harder than it needs to be. And it hides in places you're not looking. There are 4 types of it. First, decision friction. This is the mental load of choosing before you can begin. Which tool should I use? What topic should I cover? What format works best? Every unmade decision is weight you carry into the work. Enough of that weight and you don't move. Next, setup friction. This is the work before the work. Opening applications, finding files, configuring equipment, getting your environment ready. Every step between sitting down and actually creating is resistance. Next, clarity friction. This is not knowing what the next action actually is. The task feels big and vague. Work on the video isn't a task, by the way. It's a cloud. Your brain sees the cloud and doesn't know where to enter it. So it doesn't. Perfectionism friction, the last one. This is the resistance created by your own standards. The fear that what you make won't be good enough. So you delay, you refine, you plan a little more. Not because the plan needs it, but because starting feels dangerous. Each type creates resistance, and resistance loves to compound. Add enough friction to any workflow and the work stops. Not because you're lazy or you're incapable, because the system is fighting you. I didn't figure this out by reading about it. I felt it. It's something I still battle with. For example, my first YouTube video, 9 versions of the script, 1 month of what I called preparation, then 5 hours of shooting with multiple takes. For a single video, by the way. That wasn't discipline failure. That was friction overload. Every single version of the script was decision friction. I kept choosing and re-choosing instead of committing. The month of planning was clarity friction. I didn't know what done looked like, so I kept preparing. The multiple takes were perfectionism friction. Each one not quite good enough to stop. The work should have taken an afternoon. Friction turned into a month. Now, I'm done in 30 minutes. Not because I became more talented, because I redesigned the system. Same camera, same room, same person, but different friction level. Friction is in every workflow that's harder than it should be. Every project that stalls for reasons you can't quite name. Every creative block that feels like a personal failing, but isn't. And once you see it, you can address it. Not through willpower, through design. You don't need more motivation, you need less resistance. This is a fundamentally different way of thinking about productivity. Most advice tells you to fix yourself, try harder, wake up earlier, be more disciplined, but you're not the problem. The system is the problem. When smart people consistently fail to do what they want to do, that's not a character flaw, that's a design flaw. So, let me show you how to fix the design. 4 steps. Identify, remove, replace, repeat. This works for content creation, creative projects, building a business on the side, anything where you are stuck at the starting line basically. Let's walk through each one. Before you can remove friction, you have to see it. Think about the last time you sat down to work on your project and didn't actually start. Or started but stalled within minutes. What happened? What was the first thing that got in your way? Usually, it maps to one of these 4 types. If you spend time choosing between options, that's decision friction. You didn't know which direction to go, so you went nowhere. If you had to prepare or configure before you could begin, that's a setup friction. The work before the work ate your time and energy. If you weren't sure what the actual next step was, that's clarity friction. The task was too vague to act on. If you kept hesitating because it might not be good enough, that's perfectionism friction. Your standards became a barrier instead of a guide. Here's an exercise for you. Write down your creative workflow, step by step. What do you actually do before you create? Open laptop, find the files, check email, open the applications, look for references maybe, decide on the approach, adjust the settings, count them. Every step before the creating is potential friction. Most people are shocked when they see how many steps sit between them and the work. It's not laziness holding them back. It's a 20-step process they never consciously designed. Once you identify the friction, you can start eliminating it. Here's how to address each type. Decision friction. Pre-decide everything. Don't choose your topic when you sit down to work. Choose it the night before. Or batch decide. Pick 10 topics once. Then, execute against the list without rethinking. Use the same tools every time. Tool shopping is decision friction disguised as optimization. Create constraints. I only make videos under 15 minutes. I only write about 3 topics. Constraints eliminate decisions. Decisions eliminated are friction removed. Set up friction. Reduce the steps to 1. Your goal is to sit down and create within 60 seconds. Not 5 minutes of opening applications and finding files. 60 seconds. Leave your project file open. Leave the document ready. Bookmark the exact page you need. Eliminate every click between you and the work. If setup takes more than a minute, your system is wrong. Redesign it. Clarity friction? Define the next physical action. Vague tasks create paralysis. Work on the video is not a task. It's a direction. Specific tasks create action. For instance, write the first 3 sentences of the opening. That's a task. Your brain knows exactly what to do. Before you end any work session, write down the exact next action for the next session. 1 sentence. Make sure you're specific and tangible, so that future you doesn't have to figure out where to start. For perfectionism friction, set a floor, not a ceiling. You're not aiming for great. You're aiming for done. Good enough to post is the only standard that matters when you're stuck. Everything beyond that is refinement. Refinement comes later, after you have something to refine. Your standards are valuable, but the standards applied at the wrong stage become resistance. In the beginning, completion beats quality. Quality emerges from quantity. Removing friction isn't enough, by the way. You need to replace the old workflow with the new default. The goal is a system so smooth that starting feels easier than avoiding. Think about the path of least resistance in your current life. Checking your phone, opening social media, scrolling. Those actions have almost zero friction. You don't decide to do them, you just do them. Now imagine your creative work had that same quality. Sit down, start immediately, make progress. Stop when you're done. No warm-up, no friction. Just work. That's not fantasy, that's design. Here's what it looks like in practice. Old system. I'll work on a video when I have time and feel inspired. New system. Every Saturday at 9, I open the same template. Write for the topic I choose Friday night. First draft done by 10:30. Same person, same skills, different structure. The new system has decisions pre-made, setup eliminated, clarity built in, and perfectionism deferred. The test is simple. You sit down to work. Are you making decisions? Friction. Are you setting things up? Friction. Are you figuring out what to do? Another friction. The system should make starting automatic. When starting is automatic, resistance disappears. Friction always creeps back. New projects introduce new decisions. New tools require new setup. New phases of work create new ambiguity. This isn't a one-time fix. It's ongoing maintenance. After every project, ask yourself, where did I stall? What got in the way? What took longer than it should have? Then, fix that specific thing before the next project. Each friction point you remove stays removed. Over time, your system gets smoother. Starting gets easier. Output increases. Not because you found more discipline, because you accumulated less resistance. This is how you build a creative workflow that actually works. One friction point at a time, compounded over months and years. The people who produce consistently aren't superhuman. They just have systems with less friction than everyone else. Here's what I want you to take away from this. Most productivity advice asks you to fix yourself. Be more disciplined. Try harder. Overcome your weaknesses. But that framing is wrong. When smart, capable people consistently struggle to do what they want to do, the problem isn't their character. It's their environment, their systems, their workflow. You're not the problem. The design is the problem. And design can be changed, not through willpower, through intentional restructuring, through seeing the friction you've been blind to and removing it piece by piece. That's a more forgiving way to think about this, and it's also more effective. Stop trying to fix your motivation, start fixing your friction. So, ultimately, my suggestion to you, pick one friction point, just one, the most obvious one in your current workflow. Is it a decision you keep remaking? Pre-decide it. Is it a setup process that takes too long? Shorten it. Is it a vague task you keep avoiding? Make it specific. Remove that one thing today before you go to sleep. That's how this starts. One point of friction at a time. If this framework was useful, please subscribe. I make videos about systems for people who are building something while managing everything else all the time. Now, go find that friction, and I'll see you in the next one.